Welcome back to my Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm Dear Darling. I shall we see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhollow today. Hopefully you like our April Fool's video from yesterday. Well, it wasn't really much of it. It was just more like a very small thing, but I found it very funny when I watched it back. Not from a sense of being like, wow, this is like comedic genius or anything, but just more like this is so stupid. But it was very entertaining. Hopefully, if all things have gone well, hopefully this video has been new thumbnail. It's close to being finished, probably, but maybe I say lying to myself once again, as I probably delay it for one day more. But no, I mean, it's a weekend, so I actually have a lot more time this time to literally just work on it after this. So hello everyone, right now in Fawnhallow, it's 3:19 p.m. on Sunday, April 2nd, 2023. Because I don't want to say too much, because it might be that it's not finished, in which case I don't want to be like, oh, I'm sorry for the wait, I'm sorry for whatever, blah, 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 and talk about it then, but it might not actually be done. But you've at least got a little sneak peek of it in the April 1st video, just heavily blurred. It's not actually finished in that April 1st video. I was actually going to try and finish it off last night, but then I ended up playing a load of games with my friends instead, so sue me, I suppose. I'm having fun with my friends. No. Anyway, we're going to go back to the holiday conversation topics, because, that's what we've been talking, well, not really been talking about in recent days, but just, what we were talking about before. It seems we are very much in Bunny Day season, which means anything we harvest has significantly lower value, because we've been through quite a few Bunny Days. Long gone are the days of... wait, hold on. I'm trying to think how to say the sentence. I was going to say, like... long you're gone are the days or something, but that's not how you say it. I can't remember what word this old-timey phrase I'm trying to say. But basically, a long time ago are the days of Bunny Day on release of Animal Crossing during a pandemic lockdown, and when people were just like, I'm being swarmed with eggs. Good times, huh? Anyway, so holiday conversations. And I looked at my photo album, apparently my Joy-Con drift is going crazy. And the thing I did after, or me and my friends did, I suppose, after visiting a shop called Muji, is we went to a tapas bar to eat tapas, which is a very sort of quintessential food in Spain. Well, it's difficult to say food, because it's not like a meal. It's more like a meal rather than a food type. It's not like I'm eating tapas and you'd be like, oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's more like, the same way it's sort of like you say, I'm eating dim sum or something. It's like you're not referring to a particular dish in the dim sum. You're referring to a style of eating, which is a load of small dishes. Often, again, I might be ignorant because I don't have a perfect understanding of this sort of thing, but it's my general consensus on it is that you're referring to a general style of eating of a lot of smaller dishes, which do have some common dishes throughout things, like patatas bravas is a very common one, as I understand it, but can be kind of basically anything. It's just like a load of smaller dishes, which one. The food I had was delicious, not gonna lie. But two, it's not the most unusual thing. I mean, it's an interesting thing to think about, because you might not realise it, I suppose, if you've basically only eaten one cuisine mainly most of your life, or only been to, like, if you haven't travelled all that much. It's fair enough, travel is quite cost prohibitive. But a lot of different cultures, especially, very commonly in East Asia, and at least very common in China, is to have a load of small dishes anyway. Kind of, no, a load of dishes shared among a group of people anyway. So, like, I mean, I feel like most of the times in the West, at least here in the UK, when you go to a restaurant, you go like with a group of people, no matter the size or whatever, and you order food, you always order, like, each person just gets their own meal, their own dish. And that makes sense, I can see the logic behind it perfectly well. Every person has different tastes, different wants, different needs, dietary requirements, and they can have a menu and judge basically for themselves what things they like. And if they want to share something, they can like share a starter, they can share an appetizer. You don't often share main meals. Sometimes it happens. Of course, it depends on like the main meal itself or how much a person can eat. But most of the time people just have their own dish. It's like everyone's got their own different like individual course. But at least very commonly in China and in Chinese restaurants, so you go to, at least my own experience, maybe it's different in different parts of China, is that when you order as a group, you don't order, not every person gets one dish. You just order a load of different dishes, and then everyone just like picks and chooses and shares from like a lazy Susan in the middle of a table. Now, I'm not going to say this as like, whoa, I'm totally blowing your mind right now. You've probably, either you've not heard it before and you've been like, oh, okay, and, I didn't realise it was different. But, that's just how it works in, like, different cultures. And, food is, anything can be different, I suppose, in different places. Or you probably have heard it before and you were like, oh, yeah. And that's that. But, so I don't know. I guess tapas is just kind of like not all too dissimilar from that. To be fair, the dish is a lot smaller in tapas. They're much more like smaller dishes, and we kind of had them like ordered them individually, kind of anyway. because my friends, they have particular tastes on things that they want to eat and things that they want to eat. I'm very, I mean, you can tell by the way I talk about food. I'm very sort of nonchalant. I'd be like, I'll eat like literally anything as long as it's safe to eat and is not like actively harmful to me. I'll be like, I'll give it a shot, why not? Oh no, it's Zippity, quick, run away. You don't have to keep dancing with me, dude. We know about you. I know about you. But anyway, so it's basically where, you know, a situation where it kind of, well, actually, I shouldn't say for tapas, it is for sure. You're meant to like purchase whatever you want and you share it with a group or whatever. That's just like the assumption I got from it, because it's a load of small dishes, and I interfaced it with the only way I could with a relationship between something which I am familiar with. Is how I describe that. So yeah, we had tapas at this tapas bar. I don't remember where it was. We're still in Barcelona, of course. I don't know, if you can Google it, you could just be like good tapas bars, you'll probably find this one. I don't remember exactly where it is. And we had a lot of different stuff. I mean, we had tapas a few times over holidays. And again, I feel like maybe I should actually like search this on Tap or Wikipedia first. That tapas is basically just, it's an appetizer or snack in Spanish cuisine. Yeah, and can be combined to make a full meal and can be cold or hot. It's basically just a load of smaller dishes, I suppose. Is a sort of impression I got from it, but again, may not be exactly right. So we had a few things at this place. One of the things that we saw all the time, and it seems to be very common tapas food, is both patatas bravas, which is basically, as I can understand it, is potatoes with some sort of sauce, two sauces on top. I don't know exactly the sauces. And as far as potato-based dishes or sauce in goes, it's okay, I would say. I would not say it's like, whoa, I'm eating this and be like, it's amazing, you know. And that might just be the areas we went to were not like known for patatas bravas or whatever, because I found it fine. But if I'm going to eat a potato dish, I do like to eat a very crispy skinned potato dish, which I feel like is quite common, you know. But of course not everyone's like that. The sauces are fine, you know. I think there was a little bit of spiciness to it. I don't honestly remember, and I'm also not very good judge if something is spicy or not. I haven't really recently. I was eating a pizza and I was just like having a good time eating it, and like someone else ate a pizza and she was just like, this is like spicy, and I was like, is it? I thought she was, it wasn't even like a sense I thought she was lying, but I was like, I literally had no idea. And it turns out I was very much in wrong, as everyone else was like, yeah, it's got a little bit of spice in it. I was like, what? Is my tongue okay? And the answer is probably no. But anyway, patatas bravas, it's like, you know, I would put it beneath poutine as far as saucy chips go, to be honest. Maybe I'd put it above chips you get like a chippy in UK, you know. I'm not like a big fan of like vinegar or brown sauce or anything, so maybe that sort of influences my decision. But I don't know, it's just potatoes, so it's like pretty good. Another very common tapas food. I'm also like, side note, I'm being like much more consciously aware about how quickly I speak a lot of the times in videos, so I'm sort of trying to slow down and pace it out a little bit, because, you know, talking at 1,000 miles per hour is a little bit difficult to catch up with, I think. Sort of, it's just hard to follow. And it's also hard to continuously speak like that all the time, I think. So let's, you know, chill out, relax, match the internal atmosphere I've got going on in my mind, and save the fast talking for moments where I need to. Like, I don't know, I'm doing an auction. Whatever that person who runs an auction's called. Anyway, end side note. A very common tapas food we saw like all the time was like croquettes or croquettes, which I genuinely don't even know where croquettes are even from anymore. I assume they're French because of the name, but you know, I see them very commonly in like Japanese places. You know, pumpkin croquettes, potato croquettes. Maybe you know, it's just particularly common to deep fry food, I suppose, around the world, which is probably not the most unreasonable thing. It comes from French, which means croquette, which means to crunch. Okay. Is that croque monsieur is Mr. Crunch? I thought, for some reason in my head, croque monsieur is something to do with frogs. But I don't know if that even makes sense. Croque monsieur. Or is it just a Mr. Crunchy? Is that literally his name? Crunch, Mr. Crunch. Why do I have in croque monsieur something to do with frogs? I don't know. I might be confusing it with something else. I know frog legs is a cuisine and is a dish in France, but whatever. Not that specifically. Anyway, so croquette. So it originated in, I'm going to assume France, because that person's called Francois Massiello. It's just interesting. It's basically kind of everywhere. I see it in most cuisines now, croquettes. Or maybe croquette is just sort of a generic name for anything sort of deep fried-ish. And well, it doesn't have to be a roll necessarily, does it? I don't know. Because I feel like the first time I had croquettes, or tried croquettes, was in Japan. Or seeing it in relation to Japanese cuisine. Which might sound a bit bizarre, but I think it genuinely might be true. Which is weird to say. I don't think I've had it in relation to French cuisine, like, before, which is even weirder if it's originated from there, but I don't know. There's a lot of foods, I suppose, which originate from France in the first place. And sorry, let me have a sip of water. Anyway, we had croquettes. They were pretty alright, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, most things deep fried, I would say, first time you eat them, you're like, yeah, this is good. And then it's sort of like, once you eat more and more of them, you're sort of just like, I'm kind of getting sick of this. IMO. But, you know, your mileage may vary. I don't know if I took pictures of all the food. It doesn't look like I did. But one of my friends ordered this, I can't remember. It's sort of like an open-faced sandwich. It had like a piece of rustic bread, and on top was some meat. I don't remember what meat. And it had some other things on top, which I also don't remember. I'm looking at it now. I still don't really remember, to be honest. But then I ordered this Parmesan aubergine thing, which was, you know, just an aubergine, had some, like, sauce, some tomato-based sauce on top, and Parmesan slices, like, in between. And I thought it was actually quite nice. Like, you might be like, what do you think about aubergine? I think aubergine's nice. It's not, like, my favourite vegetable in the world, but I wouldn't turn it down. If you were like, there's aubergine in this, I wouldn't be like, ew. But if you were giving me the opportunity to be like, do you want to add aubergine to this? Kind of depends on the dish. I would give myself a 50-50 shot at adding aubergine. But yeah, it was like one of the first times I think we had tapas. I think it was the first time we had tapas in Spain, which isn't surprising. It was like the second day. The first day I think we had like McDonald's as our first meal, because my friends want to see, like, I mean, I say my friends, I guess I do have a bit of curiosity myself, but it's not like enough of a curiosity that I would sate it if I was by myself on holiday. But they were curious to see basically what fast food was like popular fast food things are like in different countries compared to the UK. And thing that I found very common in Spain, they have loaded fries everywhere. Like, all the fast food places had loaded fries, and I'm like, awesome, because I like loaded fries. I like cheesy chips. I'm gonna be honest. Cheese is one of my favourite foods, I suppose. So yeah, you might be like, which fast food place had the best cheesy chips? I think it was either Burger King or KFC. I don't remember. I think McDonald's was surprisingly disappointing. I think I think it was Burger King. I don't remember. Well, that's because Burger King had the better chips as a base, or something like that. And then it was one of the two. I don't really remember. Anyway, but not here in the UK, so there's nothing to get really all hung up on. We actually did have tapas another time at a different restaurant, so I suppose we'll jump ahead to that restaurant instead. You know, skip out all this part about Gaudi architecture, which we'll talk about another time. I don't remember which bar it was, but it was actually my favourite meal that I had in Spain. I had a tapas thing of like a traditional Spanish omelette, I think. I don't remember what it was called off the top of my head. I think it was like huevo something. No, tortilla something? No, potato omelette, that was it. I was like, there's so many words in my head and I can't set them straight. But it was a potato omelette, which I think it was called like tortilla something. Huevo tortilla. That might be egg tortilla. I don't remember what potatoes is. But yeah, that was actually surprisingly delicious, and it had like a brandy sauce, and I was like, whoa, this is like, I had it just like ordered it as like a small starter, because I was like, yeah, you know, something traditional in Spanish, why not? You know, I'm in Spain. Like, why not try traditional foods? And I had it, and I was like, this is actually genuinely delicious. This is like amazingly, I'm surprised. And then my main meal was like this tuna, like a load of mini tuna steaks is probably how I describe them. It was also pretty good, but surprisingly the potato omelette was better. Not that the tuna was bad. You are B, aren't you? Yeah. It's not about the potato, the tuna was bad. The tuna was good. It was just, I was so shocked at how good that potato omelette was. Anyway, we might have had more tapas at other places, but I don't remember the others off the top of my head. I wonder if I could search food in this album. I don't think I can. That'd be awesome if we could search individual albums, you know, using Google's like smart searching feature. Hey, here we go. Oh no, this isn't tapas. This is just a breakfast place. We had like a sandwich. I think it was just lunchtime. We had that meal, right? No, like about lunchtime we had a pizza. I don't know. Anyway, tapas. I don't know what other sort of common tapas dishes are. Let's see. Tapas dishes. Let's see if I had them or not. Tapas recipes. Patatas bravas, of course. Maybe I should look up what's actually in patatas bravas. Patatas bravas. Wikipedia? Patata alla brava. Spicy potatoes. Oh, okay. Bravas means spicy. I probably should have put that together while on holiday. I probably did, and I probably just forgot. That's my guess. From Madrid. Interesting. We didn't go to Madrid, actually, in the end, so never had it there. Maybe that's where the best ones are. Yeah, it says it's served in bars. It very much feels like a sort of bar food or pub food. That's what I thought when I think my first thought was when I saw tapas, I suppose, when we ate tapas. I was like, I can very much see this taking off as like a pub food in the UK or something like that. It's just like a load of, not bite-sized food, but much more consumable level foods. Okay, we'll go get you some medicine. Small, like, the plates are pretty small. Like, if you balled up a fist, it's probably only a little bit bigger than that, I would say. Like, not much bigger than your hand. And so there are, like, 2 or 3 croquets on each one or something. That's how small they were. And I don't mean that as a bad thing. I think that's a good thing. I think that's fun, especially when you're wanting to try a lot of different foods. Have a load of small different foods. That's why I like dim sum so good, right? Speaking of dim sum, I had dim sum very recently, before I went to see Phantom of the Opera, even. Delicious. I do prefer dim sum over tapas, I'm going to be honest, but that's probably, I have a much more of a stronger affinity for Chinese food compared to Spanish food. That's fair enough, it's kind of what I've grown up on, and you know me, how strongly I tie things to nostalgia, so it's like, that's just how life is, I suppose. Anyway, patatas bravas served in bars. I just want to know what the sauce is. The same sauce is sometimes served over mussels, and is known as mejillones as salsa and brava. I just want to know what the sauce is. It's served with a warm, spicy sauce. Is perhaps one of the most vaguest things I've heard. What is this? What is this sauce? Spicy. Yeah, but what's it made out of? Spicy. Let's see. Okay. BBC Good Food. You've never steered me wrong. Probably. It is a spicy tomato sauce. It makes sense. It looks like a tomato sauce. Tomato puree, garlic, tomatoes, paprika, chili powder. So it's basically just tomatoes and chili powder. Which is, fair enough. I don't really know what I expected, I suppose. Just like some sort of like earth-shattering stuff where I'd be like, whoa. I'm looking at this other tapas stuff that it has on BBC Good Foods. Probably BBC Good Foods is not, being a British company, and it's not the best judge of what tapas is. Spanish omelette. There you go, had that one. I don't think I had most of these. Stuffed peppers. I didn't have a stuffed pepper. That is quite a common Spanish food, isn't it? Seared beef. A lot of croquets. We did have croquets. Did we have meatballs? I don't remember. Maybe we did. Olives. I'm not a big fan of olives, I'm going to be honest, so didn't have that. Calamari. We did have calamari. Not as a tapas. Two of my friends just ordered it as a meal. It was literally just an entire plate of calamari. And we were like, whoa. that's a heck of a lot of calamari. I think I had like an omelette or something at that place. And that was pretty good. But we'll talk about that, I suppose, when we get to it. I need like a list of common tapas. Common tapas. The 10 most popular Spanish tapas you need to try. Okay, Catalonia. Website. Tortilla español, Spanish omelette. Yeah. Okay, so that's the traditional Spanish omelette I had. Delicious, actually. One of the favourite things. Maybe might be even my favourite thing I had on holiday, which is weird to say. That might not even be true, but it was surprisingly really good. Boquerons and vinegar. Anchovies marinated in salt water for 6 hours in vinegar. That sounds so salty. I cannot even imagine. Oh, good with beer. Okay, I can imagine that. Salty things is pretty good with beer, isn't it? Albondigas and salsa. Is that abalons with salsa? No, it's the meatballs and salsa. Okay. I don't know if I had that. Patatas bravas, of course. Croquettes, of course. We talked about that. Spinach with chickpeas. I don't think I even saw that. Calamari. Calamari is delicious. I like calamari, like, no matter what anyway. So, garlic prawns. Okay, fair enough. Prawns I'm okay about. I'm not like crazy about. Bread and tomato, that's fair. Okay, so, that's not bad. I had about half of those common tapas dishes. And you ain't going to turn your nose up at that one, probably, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to round this episode off here, I think. So if you have been watching, thank you very much. A bit stretching. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Twitter, Discord down below. Hope to see each other again, but for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye-bye for now. And I guess I'm going to go finish off at Fawnhallow, hopefully.